bro, I wanted to have you on here because uh, one of the reasons is because when I did the podcast with your team, Jester, so there were three
Yeah.
guys on there, right? Um, and they were talking some shit a little bit, just in fun, but they were talking some shit about you. And I was like, oh, I got to have this guy on so he can defend himself. So, oh, yeah, man. And then I was talking with Valkyrie, um, and I think your name came up too because I didn't know she knew you guys. Played the same area as your
Yeah.
team plays at.
I play at Tax City. A bunch of the guys are showing up now. We got guys from Jester. We got a new team popping up called 141 Nods. They play there. TSO Valkyrie and Cypher play there. And we just started having a bunch of the guys on Nightcrawlers too.
Yeah, that's
Guys
I think
on
that's
like Storm
Storm.
the Poet and a bunch of
Yep,
their guys. Yeah.
dude, I think it's so cool that uh, I'm there's a ton of airsofters in California, obviously, um, and I've talked with a lot of them, and it's like every time I talk with somebody that's out there, it leads to somebody else, and then I realize when I'm talking with them, oh, they're on this team, and they play at the same field that like 20 people I've talked to, like I'm like, holy shit, this
Yeah.
person, this person, this person, Airsoft Samurai and all that kind of stuff. You guys are all out there in the same area. It's pretty cool.
Yep. It helps with the tactical league events because you get to all those private events like tactical league and now Brotherhood's doing events with Storm the Poet.
Yeah.
All of those events you get to meet people you normally wouldn't get to meet. I'm all the way up here in Southern Orange County in Irvine, and we just went down to San Diego the other day. And I got to meet all those guys.
Oh, that's wild. Now, how far of a drive is that?
Yeah,
It's like a 2 hour. Is that 2 hour drive for
something
you
like that.
to San
Yeah.
Diego? Okay. Yeah, I've been to Irvine a couple times when I was stationed out there. So yeah,
I gotcha.
yeah, I know a little bit of the area out there. We went to Newport Beach one weekend. We were stationed out there. This is 1991. We went from Pendleton to Newport Beach because we'd heard that there was a nude beach out there in that area, or maybe it was Huntington Beach, and so we heard that
Oh,
there was a nude beach right off of I-5 or right off the PCH, right? And
yeah.
so we drive up there and we found this nude beach. And we actually we took my buddy's Mustang. He had a 90, I think it was a 1990 actually, or 89. It was an 89 Mustang, 5 speed, 5.0. And
Ooh,
yeah, bro, that was
nice.
fucking, it was nice. And we stuck a party ball of beer. So, there's you know how you can get a keg and then you get a mini keg and then there's a party ball
Yeah.
and you pump it up just, it comes with the little tap, you pump it up just like a keg. We stuck that in the back seat and drove up to this nude beach. So we're thinking, man, there's going to be some hot California chicks out there. No, the only people that go to nude beaches are old weird people that look nasty. Okay, it wasn't fun.
Yeah, that's usually how it works.
The trip was fun, but the nude beach was just a big letdown. So I said, whatever.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So how long you've been playing airsoft? Fairly new to airsoft, right? Like haven't been playing that long.
I've been playing. So I started playing like right as Jester became a team. So just about a year, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. And how'd you get started in it? Like you didn't? Did you know those guys beforehand?
I knew Jaeger or Hayden beforehand,
Okay.
um, and I knew a couple of the other guys beforehand. And we went out and played, and um, we were just like, "Hey, we like this is fun. We should start a team." We did.
Yeah. That's wild. Being fairly new to airsoft and then getting on a team right away. That's actually a pretty common story, and I think a lot of people like doing that because you know when you have a team like that, you're not just waiting on randoms, a bunch of randoms to show up to play with or get a full, team. Like you can all talk with each
Yeah,
other like, hey, who's all going? You know for sure you're going to have at least this many people to play with when you get there. It works out good.
yeah. I think most of it was we all wanted to go to that Desert Fox event, the Battle for LA, and we wanted a bunch of people to go with. So then let's start forming this team and we'll get ready and head out there.
Yeah. So going back to some of the shit they were talking about you, they said, and it wasn't bad, obviously. It was just, what was it? You break stuff or,
Constantly, yes.
yeah. So how did
The
that?
joke is, don't hand me your airsoft guns because I'll break them.
Oh shit. Okay. You break your own as well?
Um, actually, I haven't broken anything yet, so we're doing good.
Oh, that's
But
good.
let's see. I went to my like second or third time playing airsoft. I had just bought a Golden Eagle LM3 from a buddy of mine, and the first thing that I do, we're playing with it. About halfway through the day, I come back off the field, and the buttstock is falling off. No idea how, but
Yeah.
the buttstock is just hanging off the.
Oh,
And then
Jesus.
we said, all right, we take the long screwdriver, we shove it in there. Same day, I think. Maybe it was the next week. Somewhere way too close for it to for them not to make fun of me. I come back, the thing has a safety, but the full auto, once you switch it off of safe, you don't have to pull the trigger. It's just full autos. And it doesn't
Oh,
matter if it's in full auto or semi. I
whoa.
snapped the gearbox
Oh, shit.
on a stock on a stock gun. I broke the gearbox.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. We're now that I've gotten more builds going and stuff, we've got stuff from that gun lying around to try to throw back into another gun.
Right. So, oh, that's funny. So now, so you've only broken two things.
That was two things on one gun.
Okay.
Then Hayden let me borrow his PDW. I don't remember exactly how I broke that one, but I know I broke it. And then the gun that I'm currently running is a rental gun from Tax City that I stripped everything out of and put a Kythera in. But when I bought that, it was still an AEG.
Yeah.
And right when I go to play with it at Desert Fox, it decides, nope, I don't like you anymore, and stops working.
That's how it always is, man.
I ended up playing the entire Desert Fox with guns that wasn't mine.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully this year I'll be able to use guns that.
Right. Oh, that's wild. Well, it only takes a
Yeah,
couple times, like in a short amount of time. Like if you're fairly new and you guys go out and play, and maybe some of these guys have been playing for a little bit longer, and then you break the like you didn't break it, it just breaks. If that happens a
yeah,
couple times in a row, like you said, or close together, close enough to where they're like, "Bro, what's going on?" Um,
yeah,
it doesn't take many times. Two, three times within a few month period, and you're labeled like that. You just break shit.
yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what happens.
That's funny. That's really common though because um, one of the girls I talked to, she's on Team Nebula. They're actually playing at NSL tournament right now, and
Oh, cool.
yeah, they're on the East Coast. I think they're up in PA, and
Nice.
her nickname is Masher, and her Instagram is it's me Masher. So she got that nickname because same thing. She said she was every gun they would get her, or she would use, it would break. Like the trigger thing would break, whatever. Probably like the gear stuff, but it was. They said you're mashing the trigger so much that it's breaking. So they named her Masher. And then this guy I talked with last week, he's like 13, and he's trying out for this team to play like tournament stuff, and
Yeah.
it's Huddy, and he said same thing. They were going to give him a nickname, and they were bouncing some ideas around. They said one of the guys said we're going to call you Break because you break everything we give you. So this is a common thing, It's just like if you have that kind of that bad luck in a short amount of time, that's just your nickname. That's just what everyone thinks.
Yep.
You get labeled like that, like that. Oh yeah. So what got you into airsoft in the first place?
Hayden said, "Hey, we're going airsofting this weekend. You want to come?" I said, "All right, sure." I
Did you
went.
know what
I
it?
loved it, and I knew that it was similar to like a paintball.
Gotcha.
I like I've seen videos and stuff, but I hadn't ever tried it. When he said, I was like, "All right, what the heck? Let's do it."
Yeah.
He showed me some pictures to convince me.
Now, how did you guys know each other before? Did you work together or school or something?
Uh, yeah, we actually went to the same church.
Oh,
We
okay.
go to the same church.
Yeah, that's cool. And then, did you have a background in paintball or anything before that?
No, not at
Nothing.
all.
Yeah.
Most of my uh, most of the stuff I did was more conventional team sports. I played baseball and hockey.
Oh, okay. Like field hockey or?
No, roller hockey.
Oh,
Yeah,
road
it was
hockey.
fun, but it's like basically ice hockey, but you play 4-on-4 and on roller skates, and it's almost like a tile type ground.
Yeah.
Not tile, like plasticky tiles.
Like the like a court, like a basketball kind of court or something.
Almost, I guess.
Huh. And you guys use roller skates or roller blades?
Inline skates. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Dude, that's wild. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of a different sport because well, when you said that, because you're in California, so when you said that, I'm
yeah.
thinking unless you're from up, one of the states up north or a colder state, it's probably not ice hockey. But
They do ice hockey around here,
do
but
they?
I had a kidney transplant when I was like 3 years old, and that stopped me from playing contact sports.
Oh
Ice
shit.
hockey is a contact sport, and roller hockey there was a no contact rule. But as we all know, what the ref doesn't see never happens.
Exactly. So you still get checked sometimes.
Yeah, but not nearly as bad as
Yeah. Now, do you have any other siblings?
I got one older brother. He's already moved out now.
Yeah. Yeah, the kidney transplant thing, that's wild, man, for, a young.
Yeah, I was like 3 years old.
Yeah. That's crazy. Well, good thing for good medicine and technology.
Yeah,
You can
right.
do that when you're young, little kids. Hell yeah. Now, has that stopped you with any other kind of sports or activities besides the contact thing?
Not really. So long as it's not contact sports, I can do it. I always wanted to play like a football or lacrosse or wrestling or something like that, but contact sports, I'm not allowed to.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. Now, you don't really notice any other, it doesn't like stop you from running or, you get out of breath or like it doesn't affect you physically that you
No,
notice?
not at all.
Okay.
Nope.
Yeah, that's cool. Are you able to drink alcohol?
I personally don't, and I
Yeah,
don't think that even if I was allowed to medically, I wouldn't. But
gotcha.
I think my medicine says on it, do not take without.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, anything that puts stress on your kidneys.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's wild. Well, did you have any other hobbies before you started paintball? I mean, airsoft?
Um, that was kind of it. I got into cars for a little while, but I was 19 and didn't know what the heck I was doing. Just uh, I had an old Honda Civic that I started to make repairs on and stuff,
Yeah.
and I ended up putting half the thing back together with zip ties. So
Well, the body pieces and stuff?
I had the whole front bumper was held on by zip ties.
Zip ties are great, man. They're like
Oh
you
yeah,
know, it's like the new style of duct tape. You know how they used to say all you need is duct tape? Duct tape and zip ties, man, they're great.
oh yeah. If you can't do it with duct tape or zip ties,
Yeah.
then you're out of luck.
Hell yeah. And what did you end up doing to the car? What were you trying to do? Like make it
Well,
faster or
my plan was some the front headlights were just extremely foggy and like weren't very bright at all because of that.
yeah.
I ended up replacing those, and then I had an exhaust that I bought that was coming in the mail. And as soon as I got the exhaust, I blew the head gasket. And then I ended up selling the car and getting it to me.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, some of that work is just not worth unless you have a shop, or a garage with a bunch of tools and you have the experience. Some of that stuff is not worth getting into. The
yeah, that's
internal
exactly what
engine.
it was. I would have sold the car for more than the repair would have been.
Yeah,
So there wasn't much of a point.
right. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I think of here. I do a lot of my own work on my cars, and
Yeah.
I have a '96 Grand Cherokee, and so I'm replacing the exhaust manifold right now. So that's not
Okay.
it's not the worst job. It doesn't take a ton of stuff to get it off and put a new one back on. But there's some bolts and nuts that are hard to get to. But and you have to take a bunch of small things off that really don't they're not really hard to put back on. But anything like inside, like the valves and the pistons and the lifters and all that internal shit, I don't mess with. I don't mess with. I just rather get a new motor
Yeah.
and drop a new motor in.
That's the thing is when they told me, I said, okay, can we just replace the head gasket? They said, yeah, but we're gonna have to pull your whole motor, ship it somewhere, get the head machined, get it back, and then reinstall it.
Yep.
So I was gonna be out of the car for a couple months,
Yeah.
and it was easier to just say, what the heck, and send it off to somebody else to deal with.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, that's the decision I had to make recently. With I have the Grand Cherokee and I have a '99 Forerunner, Toyota Forerunner, and I want to keep both. I still have them both, but the Forerunner needs work too. It's been sitting back here, so I haven't had time to mess with it, to be honest, because I've been focused on the Jeep. So the Jeep I've been working on the Jeep probably for about 6 months. The front wheel bearing went out. So if you worked on cars, you probably know some of this stuff. So the front wheel bearing was messed up. Okay, needed replaced. So I pull everything off. I have all the tools to, like the press, one of those bearing
Yeah.
tools, right? It's just a giant, massive, thick C clamp, right, with some attachments to press out the bearing and all that, or the wheel hub. And
Yeah.
so I go to do that. It's seized up in there. So the wheel hub, I can't remove. It's seized up
Oh
on
no.
the control arm. Okay, this whole thing.
Yeah.
I took videos of it, which I still have. I didn't really do anything with it. I just wanted to video the whole process. I literally had to get a cutting wheel. I have a side grinder. Got a cutting wheel. Bought a pack of cutting wheels, and I cut the arm off the frame. Okay,
Ooh.
because I couldn't figure out anything else. One of my first tool, my giant C clamp that I had to remove it, I bent. Like it literally just
Oh no.
spread the C clamp apart because I was using a breaker bar to try to pop this thing out.
Yeah.
I used heat. I mean, I let that thing soak with, PB Blaster for like 2 days. The shit was seized up. Well, I watched some videos on it, and it says on that year, the material they used to for the hub and the bearing and all this was it had some kind of reaction. I forget what they said it was, but it basically welded itself to it. And so I cut the
Mm.
arm off, had to order that, and of course the whole hub assembly and everything, and I put
Yeah.
that on. Well, then I wanted to replace, since I was taking all that off. I wanted to replace like the ball joints and all this other, the steering stuff underneath the control arm and everything. Well, because I was so just focused on that, getting that control arm off and replacing all that stuff, I forgot to measure the all the control arm and everything underneath when I took those off. So, and that was seized up as well. Um,
Oh no.
yeah, the not the control arm. Uh, oh God, I can't even think of what it is. Anyway, um, it's the one that it has the collar that you loosen up, and you can turn the collar on the arm
Yeah.
that goes across, and your steer. That's how you align your steering wheel, right, straight up and down or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so on the end of that, it's got a threaded, rod that has the um, that goes in. That's what you're kind of turning on the collar. Well, anyway, so I tried to take that off, and where the ball joint goes in, it was that was seized up, so I couldn't crank that off, and I had to cut that off as well. Almost everything I've had to cut with a cutting wheel on this Jeep. So yesterday
Oh
I was,
no.
yeah, I was pulling so I got everything off. I got the intake manifold off, and I start to take uh, the exhaust manifold. So where it goes into the straight pipe, that
Yeah.
flange down there, there's two bolts on that. They were seized up, and I'm taking my side grinder. Now, luckily, I got the intake manifold out of the way, so I got some room. But the fuel line is coming up, where it goes up to the fuel rod or whatever on top. So that's unhooked. Well, it's sitting off to the side, but the fuel line is right by the flange that I'm trying to cut with this grinding wheel. So I'm like trying to finagle this thing in here to not cut the fuel line with this massive side grinder. Dude, oh my gosh. Yeah, I was trying to be a surgeon, with with this massive tool that's hard to control
Yeah.
anyway. So I got the one bolt cut off. It took a few tries to be careful, but I got the one bolt cut off, and luckily it loosened up the other one to where the other one wasn't seized up. So I was able to
Oh,
get,
there you go.
yeah, a wrench and a socket on either side of those, and get it off. So I was able to take the old one out. But yeah, the exhaust manifold was cracked completely. You know how two pipes come together and go into the straight pipe. The it was cracked all the way around. The one pipe was, and so anyway, so I got the new one. I got it prepped, but I ran out of daylight yesterday, so everything's just ripped out. It's ready to go back in, but I didn't have enough time. So,
Yeah,
and I busted my knuckles a couple times. You know, like normal. It's fine.
as you do.
Yes, hell yeah. So what kind
You whack
of?
your knuckles a few times, throw your wrench across the room. Just normal things.
And the thing is, I don't have a garage here, so I have a shed. So we live in South Carolina.
Uh,
Yeah, and we
yeah,
live on this back road, and I don't have a garage. I just have a shed in the back, and so when I work on stuff, I got my Jeep parked in the grass by the shed because that's where all my tools are,
yeah.
and so it's when I drop something, I usually put a tarp underneath in case I drop some bolts or
Oh, yeah,
something.
there you go.
It's a lot easier to find than digging through the grass. But yeah, so it's been a fun project.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been using my wife's car. I take her to work and then go to work, and then when I get home I'll work on it. And she's like, "Are you gonna be done with that soon?" I'm like, "Bro, everything I touch on that thing is welded. Like it's seized up. I can't get any bolts off. The only
Yeah,
ones I could get off that came off really easy were all of the manifold bolts, the intake and the
yeah.
those were easy as fuck because they weren't seized up. They came off real easy, and I think it's because my valve gasket is leaking. So I've got oil. I've
You
got
got something to loosen it up.
yeah, it's oil that has run down and just kind of baked in there for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so I'm like, well, at least it did something good, and besides just leaking.
Yep.
Hell yeah. But yeah, it can be a pain in the ass to work on cars when you don't have an extra car to use and
Yeah.
a good place to work on them. You know,
Yep.
yeah. Hell yeah. So you've got so you're on Jester. You break all your guns. You've got a rental gun that you hope doesn't break right now, or it did break. So what are you using
Yeah.
now?
So that one's now HPA.
Okay,
Threw a stubby stock on that, and what else did I do to that? Flashlight, handguard, and tracer. That's about it.
gotcha.
That's my main rifle at this point.
Yeah.
But I need to fix that one up because I'm shooting 330 FPS on 120 PSI.
Whew. Oh, okay. Now,
The
have you tried lowering your PSI?
That's what I'm planning on doing. Is I'm planning on changing out some O-rings and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, the other issue is that part of it is that I run my rifles really short, and I think I just don't have enough barrel length to actually get up to
Right.
speed, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've heard. You can actually over. Who was telling me that? It's one of the podcasts that came out in the last couple weeks. Uh, they were talking about the length of the barrel. It might have been I can't remember, but he went over that talking about how the your barrel length. If some people they have this issue where they have a shorter barrel and then they crank up their uh, their tank pressure, but it actually acts in reverse, like because it doesn't have enough,
Yeah,
because there's like too much air escaping somewhere or something. I don't know. He went into detail on it.
basically, yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and try to change some of that stuff out, and hopefully changing some O-rings and seals and stuff will
Right.
help that. And then I'm working. I have a Pro and hop up in it right now. Um, Irwin, the third brand. Yeah, I think so. Um, and that one, I like it. Is fine, but it's just really picky on what mags it takes.
Mm,
So I have to find. I can only use like Lancer mags,
okay.
and the occasionally a couple different. but mostly just Lancers.
So if you use the other ones, it doesn't feed right.
Doesn't feed.
Mm.
Not very
That's
fun to
always a
be
weird.
midfield firing off and then it just stops feeding.
Yeah, that sucks. We had a Vector. My son bought a Vector, and thing was badass. It was very expensive. It came with like he bought extra mags with it, and the mags that it came with, it was having feeding issues. Every single mag that it came with. So we bought some
Really?
extras. Yeah, I bought some extras, and we just couldn't get this thing running right. It just kept chopping
Hmm.
BBs and like double feeding and not feeding and
Yeah.
all these different mag. We didn't know. I had no clue. And I didn't want to. I don't think I opened that one up actually because I was working on these guns. On my two sons and their friend. I was working on their guns for them whenever I could, basic stuff. And so that one I don't think I opened up because it was so bad right away. I told him, hey, just send it back or whatever, do something with the warranty. So he did. I can't remember what he did. He took it to an event and it worked. So him and
Hmm.
my other son, his brother, they did something to get it working, and I don't remember what he did, but he ended up and then it stopped working again. It was just like one of those like money pit kind of guns.
Yeah.
It, it just never fixed itself. He never figure it out. And he was like, instead of taking it to a tech, he sold it and just put on there,
Yeah.
hey, sometimes it feeds, sometimes it doesn't. I can't figure it out, whatever. But you know, you know, it sucks when that happens. He sold it. He bought it for like $500. Uh,
Ooh.
sold it for like 200, 250 because it wasn't working. Like,
Yeah.
and he didn't know. So somebody got a deal on it, I'm sure, if they knew what it was.
Definitely.
Hmm. Hell yeah. Are there any special guns you would like to get?
Ooh. So I'm currently working on a Vietnam kit. But there's an LCT uh, M1 Garand
Mm.
that's like $500 that I'm looking at.
Whew.
I want it. I love history. I love World War One, two, like learning about all that stuff. Hence
Okay.
why I'm running a Vietnam kit.
Yeah.
Um, I already have my M16A1, and I'm looking to get the rest of the kit pretty soon. I found it on eBay. I just gotta put in the order.
Oh,
But
that's cool.
yeah, that one's coming along. That one will be cool to run.
Okay. Yeah, the first milsim these guys went to was a Vietnam era or a Vietnam event.
Ooh,
And
that
so
sounds
everyone
cool.
had to be in, all that time period gear or whatever. So they signed up for U.S. but most of the Viet Cong, whatever the VC had to be dressed in. They had a couple different things. They could have uh, the NVA, the actual Army uniform,
Yeah.
or they could do VC, like the black pajama looking ones.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool. Yep.
Yeah, it was really cool.
They had
We
we've got
did we did a Vietnam event through Tactical League in like midsummer, June, July. That one was extremely fun. I had just barely started putting it together. So
yeah.
I only had the M16A1, some green pants and a green shirt.
Yeah. I hear you.
Now that my normal kit is just about done, it's time that I switch over and start building the other one.
Yeah. Yeah, those are fun.
But
I like the time period events like that.
yeah, definitely.
There's been a bunch of people that play airsoft that I follow. I've actually had on here too that are big into history. They like the World War II kits, the Vietnam kit. There was a guy in the UK, It's Callsign Curly. He actually has the full Vietnam, like a couple different Vietnam kits. That's one of his
Oh,
favorite. Yeah, that's one of his favorite eras to time period gear to run.
yeah.
Yeah. There's speaking of history and world wars and stuff. We just watched this movie last night. Um, it's about World War One. What the hell is it called? It's a remake. All Quiet on the Western Front.
Oh, I've seen the original and I heard that they did a new one, but I haven't gotten to see that one yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's done. It's done well.
That one's on Netflix, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that one.
Yeah, really, really intense battle scenes.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, and I haven't seen. In fact, my wife, we were sitting there talking. She's like, "So who? This is World War One," and I was like, "Yeah." So we were looking up like what, like the Western Front and because I I studied a lot of the Vietnam. I was fascinated with the Vietnam War when I was in high school,
yeah,
and so I studied all about that. And of course, there was so much done on like so many movies and stuff done on World War II that
yeah,
it's hard not to know a lot about that. Well, then World War One, I was like, man, I forget what was I don't know. So we were looking up a bunch of facts about it, historical stuff about it.
yep.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good movie though.
I think that's what a lot of people do. They get into Vietnam or World War II, but not a lot of people do much else.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of the yeah, it's weird how some of the conflicts don't get a lot of attention. Vietnam was
Yep.
really big, as far as the media and stuff, and stories,
Yeah, because
and
it was so
controversial.
controversial that we were in.
Yes,
So
exactly.
that's part of what made it such a big war, like media wise,
Right.
and the fact that a lot of people didn't want to be there.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it seems like World War II was like, oh, rah rah, go join the fight. It was all like, hey, we want to do our part kind of thing. And Vietnam was just like the U.S. was just in such turmoil at the time, and
Yep.
not just about the war, but a bunch of shit going on. And when you look at
Yeah.
that time, that just a lot of different things going on that would you from the outside looking at it, you'd be like, holy shit, man, their country's about to fall apart. What are they doing? And then we're in the war.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So what do you got planned for this year for your airsoft venture?
Oh, let's see. I got some cool stuff coming. So I'm currently building a. So a buddy of mine gave me a ASL M4 that we're currently in the process of building.
Is that the kilo?
Um, uh,
ASL
I'm
kilo?
not sure. He just handed me a lower and said, "Here."
Mm, gotcha.
We call it his froggy gun because he's throwing a bunch of frog stickers on it. So I'm gonna be
Nice.
running the froggy gun now.
Hell yeah.
But uh, the froggy gun has 12 gears in it. So you might be laughing at me at first, but not afterwards.
Nice. Okay.
And then let's see, we're in the process of building that one. I've got a Jack 9 that I'm working on. That one's going to be a SSG build. And then hopefully, um, I want to get another LMG, and I want to put either an FE or an F2 in,
Oh, okay.
uh, another HPA build.
Right. Yeah, LMGs, man, for it's HPA'd ones are seem like that's the best option for those.
That's the thing, is it probably would have been a good idea to HPA the Golden Eagle because that it takes all of the stress off of the gearbox.
Yeah,
When I was running that, um, that's what made it snap is all that stress from actually using it.
right. Yeah, because that's one of the guns that when you go to an event or whatever that you're allowed to run full auto. You want to run full auto with those. That's the whole
Yeah,
purpose of
definitely.
them. Is cover fire and suppressive fire, and yeah, if they don't have good gearboxes, man, they're going to be burning up.
Yep. I mean, I have a Kythera in my M4. That thing only shoots semi-auto. It doesn't have full auto function, but I still sit there in the back and fire off some rounds and try to lay down suppressive fire when I can.
Yeah,
That's just my style of play. Is a lot of I like to sit in the back, lay down some suppressive fire, and then I follow.
gotcha.
And that way, I get to like see everything that's happening before I make my decision on where to go.
Okay, yeah, you're kind of like bringing up the rear, a support player.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. That's how I play video games. Like when I play Battlefield 4, I always
Yeah,
play support because the fast paced run and gun I'm horrible. I'm horrible at. My reflexes are so bad for playing. I mean, I used to be good years ago, but as I got older, I'm, I'm a lot slower. So I love and I like games like that where they have a role where you could
yeah.
just help the team out. Like I just want to help the team out. I don't want to be the lone wolf up here in front. I like to same thing what you're talking about, where I can see more of the battlefield. I'm staying back a little bit and seeing where I can help out and pitch in or whatever.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, are you a gamer at all?
I used to be, not much anymore.
Hmm.
As I got older, certain things started to come up more and had less time for it. And then I realized it's been 3 months and I haven't played my PlayStation at all.
Oh my
And
gosh.
ended up just getting rid of it.
Yeah. Well, if you don't miss it, that's the thing. Like if you go a
Yeah,
couple weeks without playing and you start fiending for it, then you're a gamer or whatever. But if you go a long time and it's you're like, I don't really miss it that much. Then it's
it's
different.
because I wasn't really playing with anybody. I was just playing like campaigns.
Yeah.
And I had just gotten the new Call of Duty. I think at that time it was Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Or maybe, yeah, I was playing Black Ops 3. In Black Ops 3, they didn't have a campaign in it. So
Oh,
like
right.
there wasn't much of a point in me getting this game because I only played for the campaign. And
Okay.
now they took out the campaign.
Gotcha.
And I tried the Assassin's Creed games, but I tried Black Flag and I just could not get through any of the sailing portions.
Oh, dude, I hated that part. I was like,
Right?
this is like
I
they
just
should.
wanted to be running around on like islands and stuff. Just fast travel me to another island and
Yes,
then let me do my thing on the island.
exactly. That's
I
exactly
don't
what
want to
I
have to
thought too.
take over this castle with a ship.
No, I
And
was
if you get too
so.
far away, it makes you restart.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't figure out. I was
Yeah.
so irritated. I was like, "What? I can't. I don't even see
Well, I got to
where."
turn the ship around to continue to attack,
And it's slow,
but you won't let me turn around because I get too far away when I make the turn.
dude. That was one of the worst things. Like they should. That's one of those things where they should have gave you an option to skip those levels, or like you said, just fast travel to the island instead of doing that thing. It was
I
the
think
most
that
frustrating.
they've gotten better at their sailing aspect, but that was like brand new for the Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
franchise, if I'm not mistaken. And they were still figuring out some stuff, but It was just
Yeah,
so difficult when it didn't have to be.
right. That's the thing. Make it easier or something. Like, let me put this on easy mode. There's been games in the past where if you play a level, you die, and you keep dying, you keep dying. I can't remember what games they were, but this is probably maybe 10 years ago. It would come up after you die when you're about to respawn. It'll say, it'll give the option to change the difficulty right there. Like it
Yeah.
pops up for you. And there's some games that don't let you change the difficulty in, mid game for each level.
Oh yeah. You have to you pick a level and you stick with that.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't even give you the option. This is just how hard the game is. Either get
Yeah.
good or stop playing.
Oh, dude. Yeah. For me, especially now, being older, I'm like, no, I'll stop playing. It's like the Black Flag.
Yeah.
I tried it for probably, an hour of this sailing thing. I couldn't get past it. I said, well, I guess I'm not playing this thing because this is, once I get to that point where I'm really turned off by the game, like because of that, I'm done. I'm just done with it.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Once I get into like a continuous mechanic that I don't like, such as the sailing,
Yeah.
I just stop playing.
Yep.
It makes it less fun.
For sure, man. Yeah. I'm not good at the, those really difficult, challenging games. There was one that was I think it was a PlayStation exclusive for a long when it first came out. Um, this is probably 12 years ago. The first one came out, and it was touted as the hardest game on the system ever. And God, I can't remember the name of it. I worked at GameStop actually when it
Oh,
came out, and we played it. You played a lot. It was like the old time period where with knights and you were sword play or whatever, and there was a lot of gameplay in like caves, right through tunnels and caves.
mm.
If you died, there was no save points. If you died, you lost
Oh,
everything.
if you died, you restarted.
I mean
Oh
everything.
no.
Your care, like everything. So it was, and the enemies were extremely hard. And yeah, I know somebody in the that's listening to this is going to be like, oh, they're going to know the name of the game. But they came out with
Yeah.
a second one, and there's some people that really like that kind of challenge. I'm not one of them.
Yeah. Me neither.
I'm not one of them. No, it's got to be entertaining. I like a good story. And then
Yeah,
sometimes,
definitely.
the games
I played the
sometimes like,
Black Ops 2 campaign.
oh,
I
dude,
played
that was
that Black
fun.
Ops 2 campaign like 3 or 4 different times. I loved that campaign,
Yep.
which is why I was so sad Black Ops 3 didn't have one.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
started playing the World War II campaign as well. That one was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. The which one was that?
It was Call of Duty World War II.
World at War or something. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Because they had the
It was
tank missions and
let's see, when did that come out?
that wasn't it after that was after Call of Duty 4, which was the original.
No, no. That came after
I think it
Black
was Call
Ops
of.
3.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Because there was one before that as well. That was World War II era that they
Yep.
did.
They made a second one or remade the first one or whatever.
Gotcha.
But there was another version of it, yeah.
Because I mean,
And
Call
that
of
one
Duty
was really
started
fun.
out. Yeah, they the original Call of Duty was, in fact, the first three were all World War II, and
Yeah.
then they changed over to well, Call of Duty 4 was the first Modern Warfare, the original Modern
Yeah.
Warfare, and that thing was that's what took them off the like just blew it out of knocked it out of the park. They that campaign is what changed everything because it was modern warfare. It was modern weapons, and it was like your character died. It was a huge, like a crazy mission where you're in the helicopter and that nuke goes off and knocks and you crash and you're crawling and you're trying. This is the first mission where you're like your character dies. Like you're crawling. And there's the screen's red, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
and you're trying to move and you're pushing the controller. Like you can't go any faster. You get it's like it keeps slowing down, and then you hear the heartbeat, and then you're dead. It's like holy shit! Like what just happened?
Yeah.
Because that normally when you start a character in a game, they don't, especially these kind of games, they don't kill your character off right away.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the first Modern Warfare one, and then they did. I think it was Call of Duty 5. They did World at War, and that was World War II. They went back to World War II, and they had some awesome tank missions in it. It was a lot of fun. Did you
Yeah. I
play it?
never got. I was probably too young to play any of those. The
Yeah,
first one that I played was Black Ops 2. I
Black
went
Ops 2.
back and played Modern Warfare 2 for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Did you were you able to play the first Black Ops? That was Vietnam era.
I played it. I never owned it, but I played it at a buddy's house once or twice.
Yeah,
I never got to play the campaign of that one, just some multiplayer.
gotcha. Oh, okay. Dude, the campaign on that Black Ops 1 was really good. If you like the Vietnam era stuff, it was awesome. Oh yeah. Cool, man. Well, bro, I'm really glad we got to finally get on here and talk.
Yeah, right.
um,
We've been talking
so,
about this for a couple weeks. Just
oh, dude, yes. So, well, I appreciate your patience with setting us up and
yeah, of
being
course.
able to get on here. Yeah, man. But yeah. Well, I appreciate you being on. Let everybody know where they can find you and follow all your airsoft stuff that you're going to be doing this year.
All right. So I'll make some posts about this as well. But my call sign, it's my Instagram is at Callsign Iris, Iris. No spaces, no capitals. Um, there's a couple different ones on there that look the same. Mine's
Okay.
my a lot of my stuff, a lot of my pictures are inside of Tax City, so you'll see Tax City logos and stuff like that in most of my
Right.
posts. Um, yeah, you can find me there. Um, hit me up if you guys want to go out to a field or whatever, but
Hell yeah.
DM me.
Now, where did you get real quick? Where did you get your iris, your call sign?
Iris was I require intense supervision, and that was because I kept breaking things.
I think Jaeger actually said that on the podcast. He said what your call sign stood for. Yeah, that's funny, dude. Awesome, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you being on, and I'll tag you and have that link for your Instagram in the video.
Awesome, thanks.
All right, brother. You have a good day.